September 11, 2001, began like any other Tuesday morning in the United States. Across the country, people headed to work, children went to school, and airplanes took off into clear blue skies. No one could have imagined that by the end of the day, the world would be changed forever. The World Trade Center stood tall in the heart of New York City, two magnificent towers that symbolized America's economic power and ambition. More than 50,000 people worked there every day, and the buildings were visible from miles away. At 8:46 a.m., the calm was shattered. American Airlines Flight 11, a Boeing 767 that had taken off from Boston, crashed into the North Tower of the World Trade Center between the 93rd and 99th floors. The explosion sent flames and debris into the air. At first, confusion swept across the city. Many thought a small plane had gone off course or suffered a mechanical failure. News networks began covering the event live, showing smoke pouring from the skyscraper. 17 minutes later, at 9:03 a.m., United Airlines Flight 175 slammed into the South Tower. The impact was broadcast live on television. The explosion confirmed what many feared: the United States was under attack. Panic and disbelief spread across New York. Office workers ran through the streets, covered in ash and debris. Emergency services rushed toward the towers as thousands fled in the opposite direction. Inside the towers, chaos reigned. Elevators were destroyed, stairwells filled with smoke, and communication lines broke down. People trapped on higher floors made desperate phone calls to loved ones, saying goodbye. Firefighters, police officers, and paramedics charged into the burning towers, climbing floor after floor to rescue as many people as possible. Many knew the risks but refused to turn back. Meanwhile, another hijacked plane, American Airlines Flight 77, was heading toward Washington, D.C. At 9:37 a.m., it crashed into the western side of the Pentagon, the headquarters of the U.S. Department of Defense. The impact killed 125 people inside the building and all 59 passengers and crew on the plane. The nation's capital went into lockdown, and military jets scrambled into the sky to intercept any other potential threats. Across the country, air traffic controllers struggled to track remaining planes. For the first time in U.S. history, all commercial flights were grounded. More than 4,000 aircraft were ordered to land immediately. Then, at 9:59 a.m., the unthinkable happened. After burning for less than an hour, the South Tower of the World Trade Center collapsed, sending a massive cloud of dust and debris through the streets of Manhattan. The North Tower followed at 10:28 a.m., collapsing after 102 minutes of fire and destruction. The skyline of New York City was forever changed. Both towers, once the tallest in the world, were gone. A fourth plane, United Airlines Flight 93, had also been hijacked. The passengers on board learned of the other attacks through phone calls. Realizing their likely fate, they decided to fight back. At 10:03 a.m., Flight 93 crashed into a field near Shanksville, Pennsylvania, after passengers attempted to overpower the hijackers. All 40 passengers and crew were killed, but their bravery prevented an even greater tragedy in Washington, D.C. As the day unfolded, images of destruction filled television screens around the world. People watched in horror as the Twin Towers disappeared in clouds of dust. It felt as though time had stopped. More than 2,700 people died in New York alone. Among them were 343 firefighters, 60 police officers, and thousands of civilians from over 90 different countries. It was the deadliest terrorist attack in human history. That evening, President George W. Bush addressed the nation, calling the attacks evil, despicable acts of terror and promising justice for those responsible. America was wounded but united. Investigations quickly identified the attackers as 19 men linked to the terrorist group Al-Qaeda, led by Osama bin Laden. The plot had been years in the making, planned from training camps in Afghanistan. The U.S. government demanded that the Taliban regime in Afghanistan hand over bin Laden. When they refused, America launched Operation Enduring Freedom on October 7, 2001, beginning the War on Terror. Around the world, people gathered to mourn and express solidarity. In cities from London to Tokyo, candlelight vigils were held. The attack was not only against America but against humanity itself. Rescue and recovery operations continued for months at what became known as Ground Zero. Workers sifted through the rubble, searching for remains, personal belongings, and signs of life. Fires burned beneath the debris for nearly 100 days. The cleanup of the site took almost a year. Volunteers, construction crews, and first responders worked tirelessly, breathing in toxic dust that would later cause severe health issues for thousands. In the years that followed, America changed profoundly. Airport security became stricter with the creation of the Transportation Security Administration, TSA. The Department of Homeland Security was formed to prevent future attacks. Surveillance and intelligence programs expanded globally. Many countries joined the U.S. in its efforts to combat terrorism, though debates about privacy and freedom also grew. The search for Osama bin Laden continued for nearly a decade. Finally, on May 2, 2011, U.S. Navy SEALs located and killed him in Pakistan during a secret operation ordered by President Barack Obama. The rebuilding of the World Trade Center site became a symbol of resilience. The new One World Trade Center, also known as the Freedom Tower, now stands tall beside the 9/11's Memorial and Museum. The memorial's twin reflecting pools sit where the towers once stood, inscribed with the names of all who lost their lives. The sound of cascading water offers a peaceful tribute amid the busy city. Every year, on September 11, Americans gather to remember. Bells toll, moments of silence are observed, and stories of bravery and sacrifice are retold. The pain of that day remains, but so does the strength it revealed. 9/11 was not just a day of destruction, it was a day that showed the world the power of unity, courage, and hope. Though nearly 2 decades have passed, its lessons endure, that even in our darkest hours, humanity's light can still shine through.